Hello everyone, welcome to Healthy Living. I'm PJ, and today I'm at the Withrow Springs State Park. I'm going to walk the War Eagle Trail. Now I've been here before, and I started off over by the bridge off of Highway 23. And 4 days ago I was here again for first day with a tour guide or a trail guide. That was a pleasure, and we were supposed to start here, but since it was so cold and since I was the only one to show up, we went ahead and started at the bridge again. So I came back today. Today's quite a bit warmer. It's 47 degrees, and so I'm here at the visitor center, and we're going to cross the road, and looks like we're going to go right up the hill right away. So let's get started. Crossed the highway, and there's a little wooden bridge you cross over and leads to this small little picnic area. Picnic table here. And there's another one just around the bend right there. And it looks like we're going to start right here, going right uphill. And they've started out with some steps. So that'll make it a little easier to climb with some steps here. Yeah, I haven't been to this part of the trail before, and this is pretty nice, or at least it's starting out pretty nice. It's a little narrow path here to start, and I assume this is going to lead up over to the bridge. I'm not sure how far it'll be from here to the bridge. Certainly take a look. I think if I hike this, it goes up to the bridge, and then we'll take, that path over by the cave where we've been before. And that leads up to another portion of the highway, and you cross over that, and there's a pavilion and another dogwood trail. And I think the three sections combined is 3 miles, but I'm unsure if it's 3 miles out and back, or if it's 3 miles one way. Alright, so we've got a narrow path here. Well maintained though, and actually here to the north of us, you're actually looking down into a drainage area, and let's see, to the uphill, of course it's fall, so it's a bunch of what I call hibernating trees and some evergreens. But when I was here a few days ago for first day, it was New Year's Day when I was here, of course not this part of the trail, my tour guide was Adam, and Adam was telling me about a visiting eagle he's been seeing. And apparently this eagle comes and visits for about a week. So I'm hoping today I might catch a glimpse of him. And if I do, I'll try to get a shot of him with the camera and share him with you. Alright, so we made the climb up the hill, and now we've made the descent downhill, and it looks like I was correct. Looks like this trail, of course, right now it's leveled off. Nice little hike right now, off onto some side road here. Probably a park road, so that they can get in and do some maintenance. And looks like we're coming up to where the creek is and the bridge. I think that might be what this is. Of course, they got it roped off so that vehicles can't get in here. So we're gonna stoop down below that and keep going on. All right. Let's see. I've got my earbuds in, got my music going on, and even with that, this little path somewhat follows the highway here for a little while, and the noise from the traffic, it's a little distracting, but that's okay. So, yes, this is where I normally come in and I park and I hike. So I think it's a 3-mile hike to go from the visitor center to here and then back, you know, the way I took you the last time I was here, and then cross over where the pavilion is, and there's a dogwood trail. We're going to take that loop and then we'll come back and go back to the visitor center. So I think it's 3 miles combined, in and out. Because I know it's not very far from here to the highway again. But it is, some parts of this is a pretty steep incline. Let's stop here just for a moment, take a look at the creek. I haven't quite made it to the cave yet, but I wanted to share part of the trail. We got the War Eagle Creek over here to our right, and we pretty much walk along this creek most of the way. Then over here to our left, you can see there's a thin path between the creek and these rock bluffs. So either way you want to look, you either got a beautiful creek one way or these beautiful rock bluffs on the other. And it's a nice little hike. Right here we're going to walk across the bluff. There's a little overhang there. We got to walk on these rocks. It's a little narrow, so you got to watch your footing. But still, a beautiful hike and a real nicely maintained park. The trail is just a lovely hike. Alright, and we should be coming up on the cave. If you see in front of me, there's part of that rock. I think the caves are on the other side of that. Oh, that is the cave. Oh, let's see, that's the first cave. Yeah. There's the first cave. That's the little one. We're going to go on down. Now, all the caves in Arkansas are closed statewide due to the white nose syndrome, disease that's killing off our bats. So, whew. Now, the guide told me on New Year's Day when we were out here that we really don't get a whole lot of bats out here. But in, I believe he said in April, there is a group of bats that comes by and they take a little time and stay at this big cave here that we're walking up on now. And they stay here for a few days, and then they move on forward. So they don't really stay here. They just visit. All right, and right here, it can be a little confusing. The first time I was out here, and this is a good time to share a snake story. First time I was out here in November, you know, it looks like the trail goes down here towards the creek. So, you know, pretty steep decline here. And if you see that little point right there where you have to go down, I went to walk down there, and I put my hand down for balance, and I put my hand on a black snake. I'm assuming it was most likely a water moccasin, being black and being close to the creek there. I only guessed that that's what it was. I didn't get a look at his mouth. But luckily, he was just as scared of me as I was of him. So he dropped down and slithered on down into that little, oh, I guess you could call it a ravine. I guess it's drainage. And slithered right on off into that creek, or underneath the rocks along the edge of the creek. I'm not sure, but I don't mind telling you, putting my hand on the black snake and having it slither out from under me was not in my plans for that day. Startled me just a little bit. So anyway, the trail does not go that way. However, if you want to go down there, this is a good place to fill your water bottle if you're out of water. So the trail actually continues on up, and it's a pretty easy climb up, but coming back down is a little bit of a booger for me, but we manage. So let's go ahead and start up this climb. We're going to go over the cave here, and then continue along. Like I said, this is a little bit of a climb here. It's a short climb, but it is steep and rugged. Going up, for me, wasn't a problem. It's the coming down. Alright, we're up. Like I said, short climb. Alright, so we're gonna follow this on out. We're probably, I'm guessing a half a mile from the overlook. I mentioned in the previous hike, and I want to take the opportunity to mention it again. This hike, this path, walks along steep bluffs, and there's narrow passages in many different places here. Dogs are welcome. Sorry, dogs are welcome on leash, of course. But the biggest concern, if you're bringing small children, I would highly recommend putting them on a leash also. Sorry. Yeah, this could be dangerous for roughhousing children, or even teenagers for that matter, or stumbling drunks. This is a beautiful hike and a fun hike, but it does require a certain degree of carefulness. So once you're on these narrow passages on the side of the bluff, do be careful and keep a close tab on your dog or children. We wouldn't want anyone hurt out here. We've made it up to the overlook. We're walking upon it now. Let's take a moment to explore here. This is the side of a bluff. Look at all the ice down there. Let's go ahead and climb on up here. Let me duck below this tree limb. Oh, there we go. It's difficult to do with pack. Step up and over here. Alright, so look at that beautiful view. The ice is actually receding and melting a little bit. Across there is open field. Nice little pasture over there. And I don't see the eagle. Huh. Alright, let's go ahead and keep on climbing. We start ascending pretty sharply here in just a little bit. But they put in some steps that makes it a little easier. But I tell you, it's steep enough that I usually have to stop and catch my breath once or twice. It's pretty steep. Look at this. This irritates me. People, when you're on the trail, please respect nature and beauty. Whatever you pack in on the trail, pack it out. And if you don't mind, carry an extra little baggie with you. That way when you run into somebody else's trash like that, be kind and go ahead, pick it up and pack it out with you. Thank you. Here's the steepest part of the trail and those steps I was telling you about. Tell you what, I'm going to catch my breath before I even start up this. It's short, but if you're still fighting to get in shape like me, it's a booger. Alright. Let's just take it nice and slow. I'm not running no marathon. I have no one to beat but myself, so we're at another overlook area. Let's look and see if we can find the eagle from here. There's a nice view of the pasture out there. And the creek continues along this bluff for as long as the eye can see. Alright. I don't see the eagle sitting anywhere. Alright. Let's keep going. Alright. Almost to the top. Once we get on top, they have a little seating bench where you can sit and rest, take a drink of water, and I think I'm going to do just that. There you go. Bench is in sight. What a nice climb. We've made it to the top. We got a somewhat level path. At least till we get back to the highway anyway. That's as far as I've gone. There's a pavilion over there and picnic area. And then the dogwood loop begins there. And I plan to take that today and see how it is. It gets its name, obviously, from a bunch of dogwood trees out there. And I hear it's beautiful in April when the dogwood trees are in bloom. So we may have to come back in April just to see that. Well, I guess we gotta walk around or climb the fence. We'll just go walk around. There it is. There's the entry. All right. Nice little barbecue pit back in there. Looks like another sitting bench. All right. Looks like we're going to start this trail going downhill. After all that climbing back there, I don't mind a downhill. So here we are. Dogwood Trailhead. All right. And I think this little loop I read somewhere before, I can't remember, probably on the website. I think this little loop is 3/4 of a mile in and out. So beautiful hillside, I can tell you that. Beautiful country. I can't wait to see this in April with the dogwood blooms. It'll be here before you know it. Trying to plan some of my future hikes and future rabbit shows. Tell you what, my weekends are going to be busy this year. I got a lot I want to get done. I toyed with the idea of getting a kayak and learning how to kayak. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know. I stay pretty busy between rabbit shows and hiking. I don't know how I'd have time for another hobby, but it sounds interesting. Sounds fun. Give it a little more thought. The summer, when it's extremely hot and too hot, too dangerous to be climbing mountains, I think kayaking might be a good alternative. I don't know. Gotta give it some thought. Tell me, what do you think? Are you any of you guys experienced with kayaking? Well, the trail forks. We can go that way or that way. Let's go to the left. All right, we're going to go downhill. These are red blazes instead of white. Looks like we're going to go all the way down into that little drainage area. And then we're going to start back up. This is nice. This is moss covered, and oh, look at the ferns. Look here. Can you see the ferns and the moss? Makes a nice little cushioned walk here on this moss. Ferns. They're all a little freezer burnt there, but they look pretty good considering the weather they've just endured. Alright, we're down to the bottom. And what that means is it's time to go up. Alright, so I'm following this dogwood trail, and I'm definitely still on it, dogwood trail. But I'm looking over here to my left, off in the distance. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There's the playground. And I think that's right back at the visitor center. So I didn't expect this trail to do that. I'm not sure if that's what that is. I know it's a playground. Might be worth exploring. I've seen the park ranger drive by. I think there's only 2 on duty during the winter, and they were both at the visitor center when I left. So that's interesting. And let's walk on out, and this trail is supposed to make a loop, so let's see if it loops there or where I'm supposed to loop through. I don't see any more red blazes. So maybe I have to go to the highway, and I'm not quite sure. I guess I should have found a map somewhere of the dogwood trail. You know what? There's a clearing here. I don't see red blazes, but I'm betting this is it. We're going to walk this way just a little bit and see if we can find the red blazes anywhere. I never did see any red blazes, but here it is. We are still on the dogwood trail. So this is where we started, and we're here. So we'll just turn around and go right back. Alright, so we're going to keep on going this way. So that little clearing, the nice level path, continues. Alright, so we're going to continue. We actually leave that flat clearing there. We're going to start uphill. But I wanted to show you. Not sure where I saw it, but this confirms the loop is 3/4 of a mile. So we're going to start up this, and there's another bench. I bet this is going to take us back to where that fork was, where it was white blazes and then it turned to red. I bet this is going to take us right back there. We're going to climb this hill again. Haven't made it back to the pavilion yet, but I wanted to share a little hint for you. If you're new to hiking out in the cool air, well, imagine if you're outside in the cool air doing anything, it's a really good idea to keep some tissues in your pocket. As you all know, I'm not a fan of cold weather. And up until this year, if it was below freezing, I didn't go outside. I would run out, feed and water my rabbits, and run in. That's it. And let me tell you, I wasn't happy about that. So, you know, this being outdoors in cool weather, hiking 2 and 3 miles at 1 degree, this is all new to me. So I'm just figuring out to carry Kleenex because cold weather makes your nose run. So yes, I have a pocket full of tissue in one, and I keep my other pocket empty That way I can put my used tissue in my other pocket. That way I can pack it out of here and throw it away at the first trash receptacle. So I made it to the pavilion, and I found something unexpected, or at least I didn't expect it. They got some horseshoe pits down here, at least 2 sets. There's this one up front here. There's a pair there set, and then off back there there's another set. So how interesting is that? I'm not sure, but I think you could camp up here if you wanted. Definitely check with the park before you do. Now, unfortunately, the pavilion is locked up. I don't know if it's locked up for winter or if it's a reservation only. But it's a nice little building. Got a couple barbecue pits and some picnic tables, and there's a water source here. I'm sure it's turned off for winter. Picnic tables, and there's plenty of bear-safe trash cans. And down on the end here is a men and women's restroom. They're locked up as well. So I would definitely call in advance and reserve if you plan on bringing a group hike and having a picnic while you're here. Alright guys, that's it for the hike. And you seen it on the way up. I'm going to take the War Eagle Trail back over the overlook and the cave and down under the bridge and back up and down the hill back to the visitor center. If I see something, you know, wild, the eagle, if I see the eagle, or the other day when I was out here I saw some of the red-headed woodpeckers. If I happen to see any of those, I'll definitely get back with you. Now, according to my watch, and now I've been playing around, fiddling and taking my time, but according to my watch, I have gone 2.94 miles, and it took me an hour and 24 minutes. That's stopping and playing with the camera and sitting on the bench to look for the eagle and taking pictures and whatnot. So I'm sure if one wanted to get in here and do some serious walking, you can probably do it in an hour or less. So, hey, I'll see you back at the visitor center. All right, we're back at the bridge. Look at that bluff over there. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, I thought before we finish the hike back to the van, we'd walk down here to the creek. This is the War Eagle Creek. And, folks, this is the same creek that runs behind my house. You know, in my backyard, there's that creek that floods in the spring sometimes. This is the same creek. This creek is... Oh, I looked it up one time, and I can't remember exactly now, but I believe when I looked it up, this creek runs over 100 miles. So anyway, here we are. We're down here at the water's edge. I'll give you a minute to listen to the rushing water. Isn't that a peaceful sound and a beautiful sight? I didn't see this when I came in. Looks like a little storm cellar or something. Huh. Just a little shelter. place to get out of the rain, I guess. Although, springtime, I bet that thing is full of snakes. Well guys, I'm back at the visitor center, and according to my watch we did a total of 4.59 miles, and I forgot to turn off my watch before I went to the gift shop, so including the time I spent in the gift shop, which was probably at least 10 minutes, maybe a little more, 2 hours and 24 minutes, so not bad. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching, and until the next hike, God bless.